Remove or flush mount fixture for access to cable installed above the fixture in a sheetrock ceiling. You will need a screwdriver, electrical tape, and wire nuts. Safety is paramount. Firstly, turn off the power to the fixture at the circuit breaker or fuse box. Secondly, test the wires to ensure they are not live using a voltage tester. Thirdly, wear safety glasses to protect your eyes. Now let's proceed with the steps. 1. Remove the cover plate. Unscrew the screws holding the cover plate in place and remove it. 2. Disconnect the wires. Unscrew the wire nuts connecting the wires from the fixture to the wires in the ceiling. Use electrical tape to wrap the exposed wires temporarily for safety. 3. Unscrew the mounting screws. Locate the screws holding the fixture to the electrical box and unscrew them. 4. Carefully lift the fixture. Gently lift the fixture straight up to disengage it from the electrical box. Be careful not to damage the wires or the ceiling. 5. Access the cable. Once the fixture is removed, you will have access to the cable installed above it. 6. Make necessary repairs or modifications. Perform any necessary repairs or modifications to the cable as needed. 7. Reinstall the fixture. Reverse the steps above to reinstall the fixture. Ensure the wires are properly connected and secured with wire nuts. 8. Replace the cover plate. Screw the cover plate back in place. 9. Turn on the power. Turn the power back on at the circuit breaker or fuse box. Here are some helpful tips. If the fixture is heavy, ask for assistance from another person to avoid injury or damage. Use a flashlight to see clearly inside the electrical box for better visibility and accuracy. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wires, it is always best to hire a qualified electrician to ensure safety and proper installation. When working with electrical wiring, it is important to identify the different wires correctly. Typically, you will find a black wire which is the hot wire, a white wire which is the neutral wire, and a green or bare copper wire which is the ground wire. Before disconnecting any wires, make sure to label them with electrical tape or a marker to easily identify them during reinstallation. When connecting the wires with wire nuts, ensure that the wires are twisted together tightly before screwing on the wire nut. This will provide a secure connection and prevent any loose wires. After securing the wire nuts, gently tug on each wire to ensure they are properly connected and do not come loose. When reinstalling the fixture, make sure to align it properly with the electrical box and secure it tightly with the mounting screws. This will prevent the fixture from being loose or unstable. If the fixture has a grounding screw, make sure to connect the ground wire to it securely. This will help to prevent electrical shocks and ensure the safety of the installation. Before turning the power back on, double check all the connections and ensure that everything is properly installed and secured. This will help to prevent any electrical hazards or malfunctions. Remember to always follow local electrical codes and regulations when working with electrical wiring. This will ensure that the installation is safe and compliant with all applicable standards. If you are unsure about any aspect of the electrical work, it is always best to consult with a qualified electrician. They can provide expert guidance and ensure that the job is done correctly and safely. When purchasing electrical materials, make sure to choose high-quality products that are approved for use in your area. This will help to ensure the safety and reliability of the electrical system. Regular maintenance and inspection of electrical fixtures and wiring can help to identify and address any potential problems before they become serious. This can help to prevent electrical hazards and ensure the safety of your home. Consider installing surge protectors to protect your electronic devices from power surges. Power surges can damage sensitive electronic equipment and cause them to malfunction. By using surge protectors, you can help to prevent this from happening. If you are planning to install new electrical wiring or fixtures, it is important to obtain the necessary permits from your local building department. This will ensure that the work is done in compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. It is also important to keep electrical panels and outlets clear of obstructions. This will allow for easy access in case of an emergency. Never overload electrical circuits. Overloading a circuit can cause the wires to overheat and potentially start a fire. If you are using extension cords, make sure they are properly rated for the amount of power being drawn. Using an undersized extension cord can cause it to overheat and create a fire hazard. Consider installing ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, in areas where water is present, such as bathrooms and kitchens. GFCIs can help to prevent electrical shocks by quickly shutting off the power in the event of a ground fault. When working with electrical tools, make sure they are properly grounded or double insulated. This will help to protect you from electrical shocks. Always use caution when working with electricity. Electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself from injury. If you are unsure about any aspect of electrical work, it is always best to consult with a qualified electrician. They can provide expert guidance and ensure that the job is done correctly and safely. Remember to always turn off the power before working on any electrical circuits or fixtures. This is the most important safety precaution you can take. Use a voltage tester to verify that the power is off before you begin working. Never assume that the power is off just because the switch is in the off position. If you are working on a ladder, make sure it is stable and properly positioned. Avoid working on electrical circuits in wet or damp conditions. Water can conduct electricity and increase the risk of electrical shock. Wear rubber gloves and shoes when working with electricity. Rubber is a good insulator and can help to protect you from electrical shock. If you are working on an overhead electrical circuit, be aware of your surroundings and avoid contact with any overhead power lines. Overhead power lines can carry high voltage electricity and can be deadly. When you are done working on the electrical circuit, carefully inspect your work to make sure everything is properly connected and secured. This will help to prevent any electrical hazards or malfunctions. Finally, remember to always follow all applicable electrical codes and regulations. These codes are designed to protect you and others from electrical hazards. If you are unsure about any aspect of electrical work, it is always best to consult with a qualified electrician. Remember to be cautious and to always prioritize safety when working with electricity. Removing and reinstalling light fixtures can involve working with various electrical components such as ballasts, capacitors, and transformers, especially in fluorescent or LED fixtures. Understanding the function and proper handling of these components is important for safe and effective repairs or replacements. When dealing with ballasts, be aware that some older ballasts may contain polychlorinated biphenyls, also known as PCB, which are harmful substances. Dispose of these ballasts properly according to local regulations. Newer electronic ballasts are generally more energy efficient and do not contain PCB. Capacitors store electrical energy and can deliver a shock even after the power is turned off. Discharge capacitors before handling them by using a resistor to safely dissipate the stored energy. Transformers are used to step down or step up voltage levels. Ensure that the transformer is properly rated for the voltage and current requirements of the fixture. When replacing any of these components, use the correct replacement parts that are compatible with the fixture. Using incorrect parts can lead to malfunction or safety hazards. Always refer to the manufacturer's instructions and specifications for guidance on selecting and installing the correct components. When working with LED fixtures, be mindful of the polarity of the LED connections. LED are diodes and only allow current to flow in one direction. Connecting them in reverse polarity can damage the LED. Use appropriate wire connectors and ensure proper insulation to prevent short circuits or electrical leakage. Consider using a digital multimeter to test the voltage and current in the circuit. This can help you identify any problems and ensure that the electrical system is functioning correctly. Before starting any electrical work, take the time to plan your project and gather all the necessary tools and materials. This will help you stay organized and avoid making mistakes. Always work in a well-lit area and keep your workspace clean and clutter-free. This will help you see what you are doing and prevent accidents. If you are working on a complex electrical project, consider taking a class or workshop to learn more about electrical safety and best practices. There are many resources available online and in your community that can help you improve your electrical skills.